Hello guys, this is Tina again. Welcome back. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the most features of the question I described in my previous video. And here I want to add a validation, okay? And next video, I'm gonna lead you how to add a validation. So I already have my project set up already. And let me show you what I have done so far. See, first in my POM, I packaging as var and compiler version, and I have a dependency which is Spring Web MVC, okay? And the other is a build plugin. In my web.xml, I just declared for the configured for dispatch servlet, and we are also looking for my configuration file. Then in my configuration file, I just add a component scan for the package, which will ask Spring to initialize some beans for us. Annotation driven is to make sure all that pass variable request from those annotation available in Spring controller. And I have a view resolver here. And all other folders are empty. So that's a basic setup. So now let's start coding, okay? First thing is we have to create the domain object. And I also have my program question here. So we only has the two domains, okay, user. One is user, so I will go back to the IDE to have a user class. User class has have a private string name, I think, and have a private, what's the other one, string email. Okay, and let me switch to the program question and have an integer, age, date, birth date, and string row. Okay, let me copy. Sorry, I don't want to type. Oh, okay, so I have those here. Actually, I don't like a date because date is old API and it's not immutable. If you are coding now, it's better to using local date. Let me switch to local date. I don't like a date, okay? And this it. I just make a change this one to local date. And address class. Okay. Address class has three attributes, I think. Address has a street, state, and a zip code. Let me just copy and put it there. Okay. So this is a two model, and in the exam question, I didn't give getter setters. Just assume they are there. Okay. Here you have to add the getter setters. We are going to give the getter setters. Perfect. If you know long book, you can using long book too. Okay. And here I can add the getter setters because they are private fields. Okay. Perfect. Our controller are good. Okay. Sorry. Our domain object are good now. Now you have to code your controller, right? Let's using user controller. User controller. The first thing is add annotation controller. This one is to make sure Spring will manage those beans for you. Next one, you can have a method. Let me call get user form. Okay. So what's a URL here? What's a URL? You cannot just put anything you want. You have to go back to the exam question and take a look at the URL screenshot and find out the URL. So let's go back to the screenshot. To retrieve this form, you using user/user/add. Okay. /user/add. Okay. And then what's the page I should return? What's a page? You also need to go back to the exam question. Here, the page is called a user form. You cannot using anything you want. Okay, you have to match the requirement here. User form. Okay, and since we are using what? The question asks you to using Spring form, so you must to add a model attribute in the get, right? So here you have to add a model attribute. You can give a key like called a new user. Okay. If you have question on what is the model attribute, then you can look at my previous videos. And another thing here, inside this one role here, you have to give the role admin DBA. Here you have multiple ways to do that. One way is you hard coded the value inside inside the JSP page. The other one is you can using the collection like a list or using a map to add in the request scope and the loop inside in your JSP. So now I'm gonna do is here I will create a map. Okay. Map, and we're using string, and I will using called a role map. How about that? Okay, import equals new hash map, and you can give a key value and the role map dot put, and the mail, and you using mail, and the role map dot put, and we're using female, and you have a female. Okay, and then because you want to be available in this form, so you have to put it in the request scope. It doesn't make sense you put it in a session. Okay, here select the model. No, import, it's the model of Spring UI. Then you can using model dot add attribute and give a key called roles. Okay, and you can give a role map. Okay, that's it for the get, right? And then we have to create a user form. We create here JSP user form. Okay, here you can change the title to add a new user. Then since we are using what? We are using Spring form tag library. Here you can add tag lib, have a prefix using form, and the URL will be Spring tag form, right? So now we can do, okay, let me have a h1 and called add a new user. Okay, and then we have a form, form, and you have to add a model attribute. Okay, model attribute. What is the model attribute here? Here the IntelliJ is very smart. It already found out you're using user. The model attribute should be exactly same as the key for this one, model attribute new user. Okay, and then the method, the action. If the action for the get and post is the same, you don't need to have an action here. This is actually the behavior of HTML. And in our question it says the get and post method have the same URL, so you actually don't need to put an action here. But if the question says they are different, then you have to give an action here. Okay, so in our case the action is implicit, you don't need to add. And then we have what is add a new user, username and email. Okay, let me use in paragraph. The UI might be different from the exam question. Okay, I don't want to work on it. Well, first one is username or what? Username. Okay, and we're using form input. By default is a text, so you don't need to give a type equal text. And the path, because you bind to user, okay, the path will be those variables. So the first one is name, name, okay. And the second one is the email, okay, email, and you have a form, input, okay, and pass. It's very smart. We're just using email, but in the exam or when you coding using other IDE, probably it doesn't automatically give you the choice options you select. You have to know what you are doing, not to rely on the IDE, okay? And the birth date, birthday, okay. Form, input, path is the birthday. Oh, we still have an age, right? And let's do another one. Paragraph, age, form, input, path is the age, okay. And the next one, we have a paragraph. I remember we have a row, right? Row here in the exam question, the row here you have to have a default one. Then you have admin DBA. What did I use? Oh, I used for gender. My row here. Oh, this doesn't make sense. It should be what? It should be admin and admin. Sorry. You're gonna laugh. Okay, admin and what others? DBA and DBA. I don't know what I was thinking before. Okay, I changed it. Then go back. The row here you have to. Here I only has admin DBA, but inside the exam question you also have a select row admin DBA. So what you can do is how to do that? You using the form select, okay. Path is bind to row, okay. And then here you can using form option. This is a default option. Don't give any value, okay. Then here you using select row, okay. And the next one is we have to loop that form row map, right? Using form options, right? Then here, what is items? Items is what you input in this request scope, okay. And then by default, it's gonna using the key for the label and the value is the by default the value of the option is the key of the map, and the label of the option is gonna be the value in the map, so you don't need to do anything, okay. This is a row. Next one we have to do for the street, right? Street, address information, okay. What are the address information? So first one is a street. Then we have a form, input, oh my god, path. So how can I bind this field to be user address street? You have to using nested relationship, okay. How to do that? This is bind to address. Then you using dot bind to street, okay. And the same thing for zip code. What others? Same thing for zip code and state, okay. State, S-T-A-T, T-A-T-E, yes. Form, you have input. Your path is ADDR because in your user here is ADDR. You have to using this variable name. Dot state, okay. And the last one is paragraph and zip code, and we have a from input path is addr dot zip code. And don't forget, oh here my bad English should be zip code. Okay, don't forget you have input type is submit, and then you have a value. It's better to give a value because different browser vendor will have a default name for that submit button. Okay, add. Okay, so let me format. Okay, so everything is done for the get. It's better when you're coding, don't finish everything, then you deploy, and it's gonna be hard for you to debug if you have exceptions or if it doesn't work. For me personally, yes, I made one feature already, then I deploy, see if it works, and I fix it, then I move on. So now let me deploy and see if this get mapping works as we expected, right? Then we will continue do the post, we'll continue do the PRG pattern, those things. So how to deploy? You go to add configuration, go here, and find the Tomcat server and using your local, and then in the deployment you select the artifact which is the exploded. So when you use exploded, you can update the classes and resources, and you can just don't need to redeploy or reset your server. And go back to server, nothing to change it, apply, close, and then I'm gonna run. The first time gonna be slow, and after you start a server, you keep it live. When you change the code, you can just update resources or update the classes, or just redeploy the application without restart the server. This feature I learned from my students, and they told me, they give me lots of good suggestions. Like Dean, my student, tell me how to make money using YouTube. And my another student Ismail give me Islam, okay, give me a lot of suggestion on how to make a better quality on the YouTube videos. Anyway, I'm still improving, right? So the application starts, but you will see 4 bad requests. This is as expected because in my controller we don't have any URL to handle slash. We should make a call to /user/add. We go here, make a call to /user/add, and we see the page is successful, right? Well, it's a little bit small if I do like this one, okay? We display all the information here, and you also have the row populated successfully. So now everything works, we can move on. So let's go back to our page and then write the post mapping. I'll go back to the IntelliJ. Post mapping, the exam question said the URL is same as the get, so you just add this one. You can using the same URL, and their method can be different, okay? Public string, and I will say save user. Here you need to put a user here for Spring to add to do the data binding for you. It's your choice to add the model attribute. If you don't add the model attribute, it still works, okay? So this part is optional. You can add, you can leave it, okay? And if you want to do any other things, you can add it here. So now here, in the exam question, we didn't talk about save to the database. Okay, we just say save to DB here. Okay, it's not, we haven't talked about database connection and how to do that. So we just fake it. Okay, and if everything works, validation we don't do now. We will do next one, and we have to using PRG pattern, which means after I put the information correctly in the form, it should be redirect to the success page, right? And I have to using PRG pattern. So what's the URL in the post? It should be this one, okay? /user/user details. So here in my get mapping method, to actually display the page success. And what's the get mapping URL here? It should be this one, okay? Success, this one. User details. User, I think it's this one, user details, okay? And in your post mapping, you should using return, redirect, / user, and user details, okay? And here we are return to the page to display the information, right? Here, let me see the URL. What's a page? You cannot just give any page. You have to follow the requirements. The requirements say using success. Then in your coding part, you have to using success. And in this success page, JSP, I have a success page. In the success page, it says what? It says user served successfully, and you display all the information here, right? Let me go back. User served successfully, and we display information for name, all the things. Name. Now, you're using EL expression to display the name, right? So what's the key here? Let's go back to the user controller. By default, in my post method, this user with the key new user will be in the request scope. But when you're using redirect, in this get mapping, it's gonna be a fresh request. So this model, you are no longer be retrieved inside this success. What you can do is, we talk about redirect flash attributes is designed to work with report PRG pattern. So here you need to add a redirect attributes, okay? Called redirect attributes. And in the redirect attributes, you add flash attribute. If you directly give the user here, the key to retrieve in the success.jsp is gonna be the type of this variable, and make the type the first letter lowercase. And you can also give a key value pair. Suppose the key is called saved user, the value is user. Okay, and when you add the flash attribute, it will put in the session temporary. And then after success page is rendered, it's gonna remove this attribute from session for you. So when I add here, when I redirect to here, it's still available, okay? So how to render on the JSP page? You're using saved user dot name, right? And for the email, you're using saved user dot email, and this is matched to your domain, okay? Domain here, email, age, birthday, okay? And go back to the success paragraph, birthday, okay? We're using what? Saved user dot birthday, okay? Birthday. And then paragraph, and we have age, okay? Then I using saved user, or not saved user again, saved user dot age, okay? Saved user dot age. What else? And have one more is a row, okay? Row. Paragraph, row, using saved user dot, that exact same, right? Saved user dot row, okay? And another part is the, let me using h2. Here I using h1. How about that? h1. Okay. And here I will using what? Address info. And here display address information, right? You submitted, and the first is a street. How to display the saved street here? You still start with your key, save the user, okay? Save the user dot find. Save the user represent this user domain model. You find this addr, which is address, okay? Dot address, then dot. From this addr address, you go inside, display the street here, okay? And next one is what? Street state, if I remember. Same thing, do one more time, okay? You using save the user, okay? Save the user, and then this is the user model. You have a address, addr, then you have a state, okay? Last one is should be zip code, right? I'm just gonna copy paste, okay? Zip code, and here just change to address zip code, okay? Zip code. But now everything is done. Let's deploy and see if everything works, okay? Okay, good, clear. And I will go back to our browser /add. Let me type. This one is Tina, and the email rxing@mum.edu. Birthday. Let me using 0102 2000. You probably gonna facing issues. Let's see, okay? 12 DBA Street, like 1000 North 4th Street, and here using field, okay? 52556. Then you click add. Oh my God, bad request. And what is this? So you go here and say a field error in object new user on birthday. Okay, he will have something called a type mismatch, because here is a string, right? But in your domain object, you are asking for a local date, and you didn't tell Spring how to convert that string into a local date. That's the reason you got this 400 bad request. How to do that? You add a formatter, date time formatter. This one is built-in, already provided by Spring, okay? And you can have a pattern, and you give mm and dd is like this way, and y, okay? And let me redeploy. No, sorry. Here, I think it's successful, right? Successful. So we'll go back to the browser, and we copy and paste to another one, because if I refresh, it's gonna be a post, okay? And go back to the browser, Tina, email, birthday, age, select row, street, state, zip code, add. Perfect. And here you go, your post will redirect to the success page, and you have all the information displayed here, right? Everything works fine. And here I want to go back and show you some refactoring. See here, for these three methods inside this controller, all of them have /user, /user, /user. What we can do is here we can add a request mapping and talk about here is a /user, right? Then you don't need to have /user in every method, right? But remember, if you coding from a start, you add a /user. Remember, in your redirect, make sure you have a /user when you redirect to this detail, okay? Because if you have a setting like this way, here have a /user, but when you redirect, you just redirect to user details, you're gonna have error. It doesn't work because to access this success page, you have to using /user /detail. So make sure here have a /user, okay? So let me redeploy and show you everything works. Okay, deploy successfully, and then I go back. I'm gonna go to /add and see if I will do very quick, and DBA and street label code. If I change this one to be 7, okay, and add this one change, and this one is DBA. So everything works as expected. So so far we have already finished almost all the features about the question asked for, and there's one more thing we haven't done, which is this validation, right? So next video I'm gonna talk about validation. Hope you enjoy this video, and if you like it, please click like button, and if you have any doubts or question, you can leave a comment. And also, if you don't want to miss any of my video, you can subscribe and share with your friend. Okay, thank you. See you next time.